You're going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Stop wondering. Stop asking. Things are going to work themselves out. How do I know? Well, two things. Two ways that I know that beyond the shadow of a doubt. The first is that you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out how to make it work. You're going to get out of this bind you're in. You're going to turn things around. You're going to find work that you enjoy. You're going to be able to eventually ride off into the sunset. So, one, things could actually work out okay. Or two, things aren't going to go well at all, but you're going to talk yourself into it. It's one of these human superpowers slash weapons of mass destruction that we have is our ability to rationalize any situation. Sure, things have not worked out at all like I sort of expected, but there are all these different factors that went into it. And here are the different reasons and causes and excuses that I'm going to kick around in my head and do the mental gymnastics until I stick the landing, Carrie Strug style, or Simone Biles style, or Mary Lou Retton style, or I think I'm out. Michaela Maroney style. Yeah. God, I haven't seen that meme in a while. That was a good one. You're going to be okay. It's all going to work out one way or another. Okay? Okay. So I was in the car listening to radio, as middle-aged people like to do, just scrolling through stations, going through stations, listening to the radio, and an advertisement for a company, an organization called California Psychics comes on. Amazing. What a commercial. It was such a good commercial, and I was so tickled by it. It just tickled me. I went to their website, and turns out that the website, or rather the tagline for this company organization, California Psychics, is the joy of certainty. And if that's not perfect, then I don't know what is, because we human beings crave certainty. We want to know, want to try to remove doubt, because certainty is uncomfortable. It's always, it's omnipresent. Like everything is uncertain. Literally everything. Certainly there are some certainties, but not really very many. So go to California Psychics. I don't know what the URL is necessarily, but you get the idea, and it certainly makes sense. The joy of certainty. Brief aside, you can see the pictures of the different psychics, and they look exactly the way that they ought to, the way that you would expect them to look, and they have perfectly named. They're all named appropriately. So they look the part. They've got the right names. It is great. So hopefully that'll drive some traffic for our friends over at California Psychics. So certainty, the joy of certainty. I want it. I crave it, but there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees in life. If I do this, is it guaranteed to work out? No, nothing is. So I believe it's wise to stop thinking about it that way. If we can just make a subtle shift, just a tiny little tweak. I always like to think about if you've ever operated a screwdriver, just one more turn, one more rotation. It's a simple little change, tiny shift, but it can make all the difference. In fact, it's usually what does make all the difference. Very rarely is is a major change, just this giant cataclysmic change is what makes a big difference for you in our lives. It's normally a couple of degrees here or there, little tweaks. And that's what I want to talk about today. So there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees, but I want to talk about making this shift. So, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I do this, I'll probably get that. So think about it like that. If I work out every day and if I eat right, if I have a great diet, am I guaranteed to have a happy life? A long, healthy, happy life? No. I'm not, but I probably will. If I save money, if I invest money in the stock market consistently on a monthly basis over the course of the next 40 years, am I guaranteed to have a great retirement? Well, no, but I probably will. Such of life is impermanent. In fact, all of life is impermanent and along with that, uncertain. Youth, beauty, energy, health, life itself are all impermanent. So are my preferences, for that matter. The things that I like, the things I wanted when I was five, the things that I liked when I was five are different than when I was 10, 15, certainly 25. Maybe not that different from when I was 5 to 25, but you get the idea. And now at 46, my preferences are also different. So they're impermanent, they're changing, constantly in flux. So I believe that it's prudent to shift our thinking. Let's keep going down this. What do I really own? What is really mine? Is anything really mine? I don't like when people say it's my Saturday or my NBA or my coffee. My. Is it all mine? Is none of it mine? I think that the finite nature of our lives demand that we view both as true. Both are true. It's all mine. None of it is mine. But that we have this short window of time to live, to experience. It's prudent, it's wise, smart to view them both as true at the same time. The thing we're holding on to, it's ours, but only for a little while. So, are you going to be okay? Yeah, you're going to be okay. But why not be great? Why not be great? Why not make another shift away from okayness to greatness? The plan that you've made for yourself and your life is only going to get you or is merely going to make you okay. I submit you've got a crappy plan. Your plan sucks. Sucks eggs, buddy, pal. You are capable of amazing things. So why not plan accordingly? Why not plan for amazing things? So let's think about it in the context of there's no guarantees, but there are probablies. There's no guarantees, but there are probablies for your family. If you intentionally invest time in your relationships with your kids, your mom and your dad, your parents, your spouse, your brothers and your sisters, if you go out of your way to invest in those relationships, are you guaranteed to have good relationships? No, but you probably will. If you are always thinking about other people, your friends, your community, and you're investing time and resources there, does that guarantee you're going to have a great communal relationship with people? No, but you probably will. If you budget, if you save, if you invest, if you buy insurance, does that guarantee your financial success? No, but you're probably going to have financial success. Same thing with the well-being that I talked about earlier. If you eat right, you exercise, that guarantee a long, healthy life? No, but you'll probably have one. And if you choose to have a relationship with your creator, does that guarantee you're going to have a good one? No, but you probably will. All of it. If you make the decision you want to get really good at skiing, and you take lessons, you get great equipment, and you practice crap practice, does that mean you're going to be a great skier? No, it doesn't. You probably will be. So we have to decide. You need to decide what is it that you want? What matters? What's important? What would make for a great life? Instead of just being okay with things, because again, you're probably going to be okay. But why not be great? Stop thinking about things in terms of guarantees. There are no guarantees. but there are probablies all around us. And because it's so finite, having an appreciation of what is yours and that it won't always be yours because everything is impermanent, but respecting our desire for certainty. So when you pursue probablies, you think that your certainties are going to take care of themselves. So, as always, do your part by doing your best.